Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackie and I am an AI change manager. And what that simply means is I help individuals and businesses adopt AI tools without all the chaos and all the noise that you hear about. Get this AI tool, get that AI tool. So that's where I come in. But for today's video, this is going to be a very, very special one because there are so many questions, especially when you want to start your business and everybody is pushing AI, but you want to actually know what businesses should you start. So I compiled a list of the top businesses and trends that I am seeing that will be pretty good to step into for 2026. So let's get into it. So just to start this off the right way, let's talk about the business that I actually do. So this is an AI change manager. And what I do is I go into companies and I help the companies adopt AI tools or new features to already existing AI tools within their company. And some of the things I help them with is adoption strategies, training strategies, and any type of governance mandate, depending on the type of industry the client is in. And I can tell you, this one right here is probably one of the best businesses to get into in 2026. This is across the board, can work in any industry, any field where AI is being utilized, because change management is one of those things. Anytime there is an implementation, or like I mentioned, that it's going to affect people and process, it needs to be there on board. So let's talk about who's good for this type of job. First of all, if you're not a people person, this is probably not the job for you. If you're not empathetic to people's emotions, this is probably not the job for you. And if you're not someone who can explain things simply, this is definitely not the job for you, because this job is going to entail you to be a great communicator. You're going to have to empathize with the employees because you're going to be face to face, depending on the type of setup, whether you're dealing with the organization as a whole or you're dealing with small teams. People are going to come up to you all the time. They're going to be like, well, I'm worried about my job and all this other stuff. I'm going to lose it to AI. So you have to have good reinforcement mechanisms in place to make sure that the person understands, like, okay, this is why I'm here. I'm here to make sure that you adopt the tools and really understand what the end user needs in order to be successful in adopting that tool. So this is one of those businesses that I'm telling you, you heard it here first. This is something that you definitely need to get into. So the next business idea that I'm really excited to talk about is the AI powered career coach. And this is what I do. That's probably how you found me in the first place, is because I help individuals elevate their job search strategy, their process, to help them get in front of hiring managers. So if you are someone who is very versed in any type of AI tools, mine of choice is ChatGPT. I like it. I also use Google Gemini and all of that other stuff. But if you're someone who is versed in this, and once again, if you are a people person and you are empathetic because you're dealing with a lot of different people, you're dealing with people trying to transition their careers, you're dealing with people who are laid off, you're dealing with potentially businesses offering it as an outplacement service. Y'all, the sky is the limit for this type of business. And this is something that I really don't see that often. So if that's something that you're into, this is definitely one of those businesses that you should get into in 2026. So the next business idea is an AI workflow and automation specialist. That is a lot to say, but I promise you it's not as complicated as it sounds. So what this particular business does is it goes into other businesses and identify manual processes that could potentially be automated through the use of AI. So this is a really great job because this is the direction that many, many companies are going towards. This is single-handedly one of the biggest reasons why AI is being implemented in so many different companies, because they want to eliminate the manual work if they can. So if you are into any type of automation, if you're into researching the different tools in order to automate, if you're one of those people that really like looking at the different processes and really breaking it down to see, that's manual, what can I do? Or what type of tool can come in to eliminate that manual part of the workflow, then this is definitely a job, a career, a business that you should do, because it is going to be a thing. It's already a thing. Many businesses are already out there doing it. I told you myself, I'm out there doing it, because while a lot of companies are migrating to AI tools, there is still many that have not, because they don't know the different direction that they want to go in. So the next business idea is really unique, but I do not see a lot of, and I don't even hear people talking about this one. It is AI data normalization services. And this is where companies come in and clean and standardize and map out all the data that is necessary to be inputted into these different systems, like the payroll systems, the HR systems, the finance systems, whatever system that is going to use the data. Because one of the very first things that you have to do in order to be successful in your implementation is you have to have clean data in. Bad data in is bad data out. So they're going to need these businesses, because a lot of companies have what they call BAU staff, business as usual staff. These are the people that are already tied to the work that they're doing at the job, and they do not have the bandwidth in order to do these cleanup services. So that's where you as a business can come in, like, okay, I'll standardize your data in order for you to be able to implement efficiently. And I'm telling y'all, the more sensitive the data is, so any of those sectors like healthcare, banking, government, the more money that you could potentially make. So this one is definitely an underrated gold mine. The next type of business is going to be AI risk and compliance. And this by far is one of the most important businesses out there, and we definitely need more businesses like this. This is all about making AI safe and building guardrails, building governance models around the usage of AI within companies. I could tell you that this is one of the businesses that is heavily outsourced from companies. They want these people who are specialized in this field of risk management, governance, compliance, in order to come in and bring in the methodology that these companies need in order to safely use AI. For example, anyone who's in the banking field, you already know there are just so many regulations that they have to abide by. That's why that sector adopts at a slower pace than most sectors, because of that exact problem. It's because there is so much regulation, especially on data usage and this different type of systems that can be used, and whether or not it can be in a cloud, depending on if you're dealing with another country, because some countries you can only utilize data towers that are in country. Like, they can't be shared towers somewhere in a whole different countries. So many financial institutions have to get past that barrier and come up with a way and a methodology in order to adopt how can the company as a whole utilize AI in a safe manner, and that abides by all local regulations, no matter what country you're in. So if you are in that field, risk management, governance, compliance, this is definitely one of those businesses that is going to take off in 2026 and beyond. So that brings me to the end of this video. And let me know in the comments if any of these different businesses surprise you, if you're going to try any of these different businesses, or if you're going to completely do a separate type of business. Until next time, peace out.